everyone, and welcome back to Happy Hour with HR, a podcast about navigating corporate spaces without compromising your wellness. I'm your host, Dra Mo. Bienvenidos, mi gente. ¿Cómo estás? In this video, I'm going to be talking about how do you actually set yourself up to win when you're starting your own company by understanding the 5 components of business development. And so I think when people start their own business, they start their own company, the challenge, they're going to experience a lot of challenges. But the challenge as it relates to the mental mindset that I feel like they experience a lot is that they fail to understand this number one rule when you start your own company. And that number one rule is this, my people. This is the number one rule. You're going to be doing everything. Yes. You will be doing everything. You'll be doing everything because you wanted to venture out and start fresh, start new. And because you are creating a path for yourself, you're going to be doing everything. 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 And that's okay. And that's okay. And that's okay. And that's okay. But you're going to be doing everything. All right. And that is okay. It is okay to a certain extent. After a while, it's going to play out. And you're going to find people to help you continue to build out your dream. Oh, they still doing fireworks. But yeah, you're going to be doing everything. And because you're going to be doing everything, you have to know how to shift your mindset, shift priorities, because the 5 key components of creating, of organizational development, those 5 key components, or you can call them departments, but those 5 different departments requires different things out of you. And you have to be willing and able to be flexible in meeting the demands of those different departments. So if you don't know, the 5 different components / departments of any business development is this. The first department is operations. The second department is product / service development. The third department is finance. The fourth department is marketing / sales. And the 5th department is HR. Now, all of these different components, all of these different departments, again, requires a different mindset. However, when you are in one accord with the different mindsets and how you need to show up a little bit different for each department, you really start to see and start to create a tone for how your business will operate and how your company culture will develop. And so just to kind of like dive into those different departments a little bit in case anybody might be a little confused. When I talk about operations, the mindset that is needed for that department is somebody that is highly organized, because you're going to be dealing with important dates. You're going to be dealing with the operational tools to make the company function in an efficient way. You're going to be dealing with local entities, state entities, federal entities, because you're going to have to do like different filings depending on what type of business that you're in. So you're going to have to really be this type of hawk for the organization to kind of make sure that everything is operating the way it needs to be. In order for you to understand that, you have to understand the different tools that the different departments are going to need. So again, you got to have this big brother, big sister view of the organization. And therefore, you also have to just be very organized. So that is the type of mindset that is needed when working in operations. You have to be very, very organized, and you have to be hella neurotic about it. Like, being too organized would never be too much. Okay? Because you also have to think about too that as the business continues to grow, if you need to, you know, give a new team member work that you've been working on for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years, you want to make sure that you can guide them in the right direction so that it's not confusing. So that means you have to be very organized. The second department, product/services. For that department, I feel like that's the human experience type of department. That's one of the human experience type of departments. And that's also the creative department. So that's a department in which you just have to be in the mindset of just being open. Like, being focused about what you want to create and how you want to create it, and overall how you want to execute it, but just being open to different ways of execution, being open to different ways that the product can be experienced, open to different ways the products can even be developed. Okay? And that also is a department in which you have to be sharp about your competition. You have to be really sharp about what is out there that can dilute your product or make your product obsolete to potential customers/clients. The third department, finance. Finance is such a fun department. I really like the finance department because it really tells a story about your company. It tells where you've been, it tells where you are, and it can even tell you where you might go. You know, things can change, but the finance department is such a beautiful department, and because it's so beautiful, because of it, it tells the company's story. You have to be very neurotic with that department too. Just like with operations, you have to be very neurotic about it, because how you collect your money and how you manage your money is a reflection of company culture. It's a reflection of how organized you are. It just tells so much. So, and I just want to even give this advice of, be very intentional about how you collect your money, and how you engage with customers to even collect your money. Because if you do something on like a messy tip, it kind of provides a window into maybe your company it lacks in some areas, and could be a problem for a former client, or even a current client that you might have. And so again, just be very intentional about how you collect your money. Be very intentional about how you code your money. Be very intentional about creating budgets and creating realistic budgets. And like I said before, the finance department requires a level of neurotic behavior, because money is what's making this thing move, you know? So you don't want to play around with that. Okay, so the fourth department, the marketing department, is similar to the product slash service department in terms of the mindset that you need to have, because that is again an opportunity for you to connect with the people. So it's a very human experience oriented type of department, which means that you have to be meticulous about what you do, but you also have to have space for creativity and just openness and feedback, and just a reality check of maybe the product that you have may not work. It's a reality check of maybe the way that you're marketing and your target audience may not be your target audience. So you have to be open to trying and being different. And the fifth department, which is the most slept on department in my opinion. I would say it's a tie between HR and operations are slept on, but um, I would say that HR is really leading that the most slept on department, because people can function and have companies without really having an HR department, although they are doing HR stuff when they start to hire and look into benefits and doing things like that. But the mindset that is needed for the HR department is liability, personnel liability. Like, you have to be in the mindset of, how can I make sure that this person, this personnel, this coworker, this team member does not become a liability for my company? Now, I can't control them, but what I can do is set up policies and protocols that I need them to adhere to, so that it lessens liabilities for my company and lessens the opportunity for them to be a liability for my company. Y'all get what I'm saying? Y'all feel me, my people? And so that department, you gotta be real meticulous. You gotta be real. You really have to understand the type of person that you're looking for to work for your company, and you really have to understand what you need them to do for your company. Because without that understanding, you might have somebody in there that can mess a lot of your stuff up. That's why hiring and having a good hiring process is so important. You don't really want to drop the ball on that, because it's like you're opening the door for somebody to be a really great asset and can help your company grow, or you're opening the door for the devil. Plainly put it, you're opening the door for the devil now. And these people are going to run amok in your business. Everything that you've been working hard for, you finally got to the point where you don't have to do everything yourself. You finally got to that point. You finally got to, I can hire team members. Only to hire team members that will steal from you. Only to hire team members that don't want to do their work. Only to hire team members that lied on their resume and don't know how to do their work. Only to hire team members that are plotting for your downfall for whatever reason they have. Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, that HR department, like, it's all about the personnel, but it's about making sure that you got the right personnel, that they got the right mentality, that you can train them to do their job well. So it's not just the personnel, it's also a reflection of the company's protocols and processes. It's like it's a two-way relationship, you know. And so overall, the mindset that is needed for that particular department is, how do I make sure that this company is safe with the personnel that is working within this company? And so, again, once you start to really understand those different departments, I feel like it allows you to be able to shift and set yourself up to win, and set your company up to win, because you know what is needed for the different departments. When you start to get into that mindset of, like, kind of, how much time I got? Ooh, I'm getting close. When you start to get into the mindset of, I'm not really strong in doing this type of work, for example, finance work, and therefore you want to push that work along to somebody else, you open the door for somebody to steal from you. You open the door for things to be done incorrectly. You just open the door for your business to look like a messy thing. All because you don't want to sit down and really look at and really do the work of these different departments. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be an expert in every department, but to set yourself up to win for your company, You need to know how to maneuver in each of these different departments until you can pass that work along to somebody else who can do it better. But you need to understand the foundations of those different departments in order to set yourself up to win and overall set your business up to win. So, that was a lot. But I do want to say this. If you are really interested in setting your business up to win, I have this course called Create My Company. It's like a guide, it's like a textbook, and it allows you to really sit with what it would mean, what it will look like to create your company. And it will also allow you to sit with what is your strong suit, because again, you may not be a good finance person. You may be okay with product/service development, but maybe maybe the thing that you're really good at is operations. Maybe you're really good at marketing and sales. Maybe you're really good at finding good team members. So what the Create My Company course allows you to do is kind of like really sit with where your strong suits are, and really sit with what company and business development would look like as it relates to these different departments. So if you are interested, please email me at sgseriniity@gmail.com. Just to wrap everything up, the 5 different components that you need to understand in order to set yourself up to win when you're starting your own business is this. The first component/department is operations. The second component/department is products/services. The third component/department is finance. The fourth component/department is marketing/sales. And the fifth component/department is HR. These are the 5 different components of business development that you need to understand how to work in order for your business to thrive. So thank you all for watching and listening to Happy Hour HR. I will see you all next time. Bye.